And a million faces formed together, made for elevation. And a soldier won't surrender. Faith is like a fire that never burns to embers. The voice of the unheard. Love is the answer.
I gotta speak it, believe it, that's how I feel inside.
I can't sit here quiet.
You can take my heart, you can take my breath when you pry it from my cold dead chest.
This is how we rise up. Heavy as a hurricane, louder than a freight train. This is how we rise up. Heart is beating faster, feels like thunder. Magic static, call me a fanatic. It's our world, they can never have it. This is how we rise up. It's our resistance, you can't resist us. Can you hear me? Are you listening? Sleeping and the shadows could be making history. Through the fire, on the water, used to be a slave, but now you are a conqueror.
They can take my heart, they can take my breath when they pry it from my cold dead chest.
This is how we rise up. Heavy as a hurricane, louder than a freight train. This is how we rise up. Heart is beating faster, feels like thunder. Magic static, call me a fanatic. It's our world, they can never have
And welcome everyone to another episode of Straight Talk with Joe Vollano. I am glad you're here. We are just mere hours away from hopefully electing new leadership here in the city of Meriden. That's the goal. That's the hope. Again, you know, we talked here on Saturday, and a lot of stuff has happened since then. We have a lot of stuff that's come out. We have a lot more questions than we have answers. And not only from politicians who are now running for the hills, trying to hide away from what's going on. They should be scared. They should be, because what they did and what they are doing, hiding things from the public, is very disturbing. It's unethical, and it's beneath the office of city council or mayor. What we put out there on Friday and what we talked about on Saturday should scare every single resident of this city. And I tell you what, they're interested in what we put out there. They're very interested. You look at that show from a couple days ago, almost 2,000 views already. That's not enough. That's just on Facebook. Then we have YouTube, where people are watching it. People are getting informed. Question is it too late? I hope not. If you put an absentee ballot in and you want to change it, you still can. You can go to City Hall tomorrow and take care of that. Because this election tomorrow means everything. Means everything. And we're going to get into it because, you know, I was just told about this story that Channel 3 did tonight. They did it. So I had to rush to try to get some stuff for you guys, because the story on FSB 3 on police department in today's age is very enlightening. What these chiefs from all over the state are talking about. And no matter whether it's a small town or a big city, they're all saying the exact same thing. They need politicians to stop trying attacking them. They need to stop. It's emboldening the criminals out there to do whatever they want. When they hear the rhetoric coming from our politicians, and they see the laws that are being passed up in Hartford, attacking the great men and women of law enforcement, as a criminal, why wouldn't you feel like you could do whatever you want? Why wouldn't you? There's no repercussions. We just talked about it last week, where you had the gentleman that was just arrested October 15th on violation of probation, was linked to another homicide in Hartford, and was out on the streets 3 days later, shot through a police officer's car, trying to kill her. That's what our police are dealing with on a daily basis. But politicians like the Democrats here in Meriden, specifically Sonia Jelks, Tomasetti, Blake, Lura Graham, and others, and then they ask the question, well, why is all this animosity between city council and the police? Well, why do you think there is? You demonize them at every chance you get. Our police department's not the enemy here. Criminals are. And that's what's on the ballot tomorrow. Do you support the police or not? If you support the police, you must vote Republican. Plain and simple. It's that cut and dry. If you want to save the police department, you need to vote Republican tomorrow. if you want accountability and transparency in city government. Because as we found out on Friday and Saturday, there is absolutely none up there in City Hall right now. So if you want accountability and transparency and real change in this city, you must vote Republican, we the people, tomorrow at the ballot box. If we don't, you have nothing to bitch about. We each have our part in this. Mine is sitting here behind this microphone, making you aware of what's going on. Digging deep to get the answers. And I pardon my voice. My voice is a little off. Do you know what I totally forgot? For anyone new to the program, I'm sure you're wondering who I am. And I am Joe Vollano. I am the host, your guiding light, and hopefully, I'll be coming to you tomorrow night with a new majority Republican city council and a new Republican mayor. That's the goal. Because we need to bring all this garbage that's been going on for the last 38 years to the surface. We need to finish what Guy Scaife started. We need to finish what Guy Scaife started. Because listen, they fear what they can't control. And they couldn't control Guy. And he had no fear of them. This is exactly why they hate me. They cannot control me. I am not like Fontanella. I am not a puppet. I will not do what other people tell me to. And I think I've proven it here on this show. I've gone after Republicans. I've gone after independents. I've gone after Democrats. I go after anyone that is not doing right by the citizens of this city. That's my job. And that's all I care about. I may be a Republican, but that does not mean that I will not call out Republicans. We need to bring all this garbage out into the open. And like I said, I'll be meeting with Guy Scaife in the next week or so. And I have a lot of questions. No matter how this turns out tomorrow, we will push forward to get all this to the surface. We will get all this to the surface. We will expose it and shine the light on the corruption going on at City Hall, whether or not they're still in office or not. But we need to turn the page. We've already seen from their own words that some of them up there that are still there from the Guy Scaife era are not fit to be on the city council. I want to know what you think. 203-697-9610. Call in or email us straighttalkjv@gmail.com. I have a ton of emails from the show on Saturday. I'll try to get to a couple of them. But I did reach out because, again, I'm starting to break this thing down. I'm trying to find out who and what and when these things happen. So I reached out to Record Journal today, again. And then I got an email back from Mr. Cotton. In fact, let me read the email first so that everybody's fully clear on what was said back and forth. Okay. I sent my first email to Eric Cotton and to Ralph Tomasetti, the two managing editors. And I asked them that I was doing a show tonight on the Guy Scaife federal documents that posed on Friday night about wrongdoings by some City Hall senior staff and counselors past and present. Was wondering if one of you would like to come on tonight and comment on this document as the Record Journal was mentioned in the report in regards to being blind CC'd on emails from Sonia Jelks. Did the Record Journal, here's the two questions I have for them. Did the Record Journal know that they were being blind CC'd? And if you cautioned against it, due to the fact that it was from a counselor, and also who on your staff was the one receiving these emails? Here on the show, we find it concerning that a lot of the information found in these documents were never shared with the public. Now, they came back with an email saying that things that, oh, we did talk about all these things. They never talked about them in specific. In specific to certain counselors with what their own words were. The Record Journal's role in a free press is to hold government accountable and to inform its subscribers of what is going on within their government. We believe you have failed in this, but would like to give you your publication the opportunity to come on and explain why this was never shared with the public until we did on Friday night. Our show on the other night on this topic has been viewed over 2,000 times and counting. And if you read the comments from all parties, they find this not being covered previously, very disturbing. I hope you find the time to join us at 7 p.m. tonight. And then Mr. Cotton wrote back to me, we stand by our coverage on Guy Escape's termination lawsuit. We wrote a number of stories about the amended complaint, including the $700,000, which is $871,000, by the way, PUC overcharging. In fact, we fought to release for the engineering study the City Hall had initially withheld, which apparently they never did because no one still got it. They still never got it. It's ridiculous. You are the press. You are supposed to be there every step of the way, pushing to get things done. That report is out there. That report is out there. And then Eric listed 3 articles in which they did. All of them, which were preliminary stuff. Very minor and very broad. So, of course, I had to respond back. And what about the counselor's actions in this report? You don't feel you should have reported? And this is specifically towards the Jelks. Thomas, this is specifically since Fontanella, Castro, and most importantly, to Batista. Because I find between Batista and Fontanella, those are the most egregious acts done to the city of Meriden. And I also told him, and then I also want to find out, what employee of the RJ was receiving Councilwoman Jelks' emails. Who was it? And did they make her aware? Did they make anybody aware? What did you know, and when did you know it? Because you were receiving privileged emails and replies from those emails without anybody knowing. And then they sent me this. We did report on allegations regarding counselor conduct. The Jelks BCC issue was in the first story we wrote after the lawsuit was filed. Its outline is linked, and then they sent me the one that it was down below. So and I read it. It was a brief blurb. Brief blurb. Listen, the RJ is in bed with these guys. They've been in bed with them ever since they sold that building downtown. The Record Journal appears to be bought and paid for. And Democrats will take that straight to the bank. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're out here alone. We're out here alone to do their job. They are no longer a journalist organization to me. They are puppets, just like Fontanella. They will do as the Democrats tell them to do. Just like Fontanella would do whatever the majority leader tells them to do. We have serious problems in this city. Serious problems in this city. But we can start fixing those tomorrow. We have an opportunity tomorrow to take control of this city council and bring all of this, all of it, to light. But it's going to take each and every one of us to do it. Have you done what you've needed to do to make this happen? Have you done it? If not, you still have time. Tomorrow is a big, big day for the people of Meriden, whether they know it or not. Now, I tried finding the Pierce report today. Well, I've been trying the last couple of days. Everybody is keeping their mouth shut in the city on this. What does that tell you? When City Hall is scared to even talk to you, you know you're on the right track. When the Record Journal is sending their reporters out on social media to defend themselves, you know you're on the right track. When everybody hates you and gunning for you, you know you're on the right track. See, the problem with them is they think I'm scared of them, and I'm not. They can throw anything they want at me, and I will keep moving forward. I will, hell or high water, get all this information out to the public. I don't care how much time it takes. I don't care how much it costs. All of this, as long as I am behind this microphone and breathing, all of this will be exposed. That is my promise and my guarantee to you. It would be a lot easier with the Republican council and a Republican mayor. In order to fix government, you need to get into the government and fix it from the inside out. And we got a great slate of candidates to do just that. And is Kevin Carpetti complicit? Yeah. Listen, Kevin endorsed these people. Kevin's running with these people. Kevin has said all great things about these people. Knowing what he knew, how can you do that? So he is complicit in it. And he needs to be removed. He needs to be removed. You can't smooth talk your way out of this. You can't smooth talk and say, oh, this is a hit piece. Oh, these aren't facts. They're undisputed. Ladies and gentlemen, right here, the facts are taken from the parties. Statements and are undisputed unless otherwise indicated. And it was never indicated that anything these counselors did was anything other than what's written right here. Councilwoman Batista letting everybody know there's a friggin' hit list. They had a hit list. They had a hit list, and it was 4 names long. And they were damn sure that nothing was going to stand in their way to get rid of them. Nobody was going to be allowed to ruin their plans, which is to do whatever the frig they wanted anytime they wanted. When your government has hit lists, listen, I'm sure I'm on their list right now. And that's fine. But they had a hit list of city employees that they did not agree with, and they went after them. And most of them, they got fired. Excuse me, like I said, my voice is going. I got one day left. 1 day left. And I'm going to use every ounce of my voice I have left, every syllable, to make sure we're putting out there. What is City Hall so afraid of? We now know why they settled. There's not a single jury that went and look at that comment alone from Kathy Batista, who was a sitting counsel at the time, and think there is no retaliation. That was all retaliation. Because they stood up. They stood up to the powers that be. And like I said, police chief, heed this warning. Heed this warning, sir. If Democrats win tomorrow, unfortunately, I think you're next on that hit list. I think you're next, sir. And that'd be a damn shame for this city. And like I said, Channel 3 just did a whole piece on police in Connecticut and what they're going through. And one of the biggest things that they said was politician support. Here's a prime example of it right here. How supportive are Connecticut lawmakers of law enforcement? And this is from the police departments. 66% said not supportive. What do you think Meriden is? Do you think Meriden falls in this not supportive, supportive, or very supportive? Where do you think Meriden lays in here? Meriden police are under attack. For the first year, for the last year, they've been very open about it. For the last month, they've been trying everything they can to friggin' hide it. They've been trying everything just to hide it. But we all know the truth. We all know the truth of what's going on. They're going to take every opportunity to handcuff the police. Every opportunity. Because they have no idea what it's like to be an officer. They have absolutely no idea what risk they go through. None. Here's a prime example. Again, this was a survey for the police chiefs done by WFSB, which again, did a tremendous job, and I can't wait to see what else they come up with. 34% have no idea what police face and the risk. Unless you've been in that car and you see what they go through on a daily basis, you have no idea. And you shouldn't even talk about it. They go out of their house and they kiss their family goodbye, never knowing whether they're coming back in that house. Have you ever had to do that? Unless you're living in Chicago. No, you don't have to worry about that. Because the police are out there trying to protect you. So you don't have to worry about that. And LaRue Graham, with his nonsense, oh, I fear every day that my son's going to call me saying he got pulled over. You're so full of crap. So full of crap. You've been a city council member for years. You've been head of the public safety committee for years. You've never mentioned a word of this. And now you're going to go prancing around like you're some kind of social justice warrior saying, I've been afraid for years and you have no idea what I'm talking about. You're right, because you never expressed it before. And you have powers in this city that you could easily have brought this to light. But the problem with your whole complaint is, sir, is that's not freaking happening here. And you have no basis for your comments. But that's typical for Democrats. They have no evidence. They just say it because they're playing on people's emotions at the time. Emotions were running high because of George Floyd, and they were running high, and they felt that they had a political advantage to try to do something. Because again, they have no leadership. There's no leadership skills on anybody in that Democratic side. If you felt that compassionate about it, sir, you would have done something while you were there. You would have done something about it. But there wasn't a problem. You never had a concern about it. And now you're just trying to make political points. And I will not let you do that. I will not let you sit there and demonize our police department because you want to make a friggin' political point. You should be ashamed of yourself. But you're not. You're not. Because as I always said, you're spineless. You don't think for yourself. I know who started all this. Sonia Jelks started all this, and you just jumped on the bandwagon. Because that's what you guys do. You're all puppets. You're all big puppets. Even Fontanello, the biggest surprise of all. At the end of the day, he admitted that he is just a puppet of the Democratic Party, and he will do whatever the party leadership tells him to do. That's not leadership. You should be embarrassed for that. Like I said, Mr. Fontanelli, you're up for re-election. And you're telling me that you ruined a man's career and you made this city liable. You made this city liable for a lawsuit for wrongful termination without looking at any evidence, without looking to talk to anybody. You never talked to Guy Scaife. You never talked to anybody except for David Lowell. David Lowell is the only one that you talk to, and because he's a reasonable guy and you respect his opinion, you went ahead and fired someone and tried to ruin their career. And you're a lawyer. You're a lawyer, sir. And that's how you act? You have no right. You should be ashamed of yourself, and you have no right to sit on that city council. That is a shame. Because I actually thought you were probably one of the best ones up there. But at the end of the day, you turned out to be simply a puppet. A puppet of the social justice warriors. That's all you end up being. And that's a shame. Because I thought much more of you than what you have become. And now it's time for you to go. It's time for you to go, retire, enjoy some nice sun. Because you are you are probably the most dangerous city council of all. You are literally the most dangerous counselor up there. Because you don't think for yourself. And you do what you're told on something so important. I could only imagine how much worse it is. And that's a shame. And then, of course, you have Sonia Jelks, my favorite person in the city, because I think she is a cancer for this city. A cancer. And it needs to be cut out. And the only way you cut that cancer out is to go vote tomorrow and elect Republicans, we the people, to the city council. Get majority of the council and get it away from her. If you want to save Meriden, we need a clean sweep tomorrow. Which means everyone has to be on their A game. Everybody. She'll never resign. She'll never resign. She is a puppet for the NAACP. She's proven that. She's Jason Teal's puppet. She always has been. But now she has some power. And that's what's dangerous. And like I said, the fact that Kevin and the rest of the Democrats supported her tells me everything I need to know about today's Democratic Party at City Hall. And like I said, I'm not demonizing all Democrats. Because most Democrats have no idea about any of this unless they read what I put out there on Friday or they watch the show on Saturday. So unless they did any one of those two things, the average Democrat has no idea what's going on. $8 million overcharged by the water and sewer. And you want to see an organization that tightened their ass cheeks really quick was the water department. Because, of course, we're looking for the report. And then you have Ken Morgan. Ken Morgan, who was acting city manager at the time, after Guy Scaife left. Well, that report from the PUC, from the Pierce Group, that Pierce Group report came out 2 days after Guy Scaife has left. And again, Ken Morgan, who's running for council in Area 4, was the acting city manager. Sir, I ask you one simple question. Where the hell did that report go? Why was that report not given to the council? And I asked the same question to the water department. Why has that $37,000 report that the city taxpayers paid for, why was that never released? We know why. Because it's damning to the other side. It's damning to Democrats. That's why it never reached the light of day. And Ken Morgan is solely responsible for that not getting out there, as he was given the report as acting city manager. We already know Ken Morgan's a puppet for the Democrats. He proved that already when he was acting city manager. And then he ended up bringing back all the bad apples that Scaife was able to get rid of. And now he wants to be a city councilman? Yeah, no. No. He is definitely not fit to be on the city council. Stick to being a fire chief. You're a decent fire chief. I'll give you that. I said that even when you were acting city manager. I think you do a fine job as fire chief. You should stick to that. Stick to what you know best. Being a puppet, I don't think is your style. But I guess the thirst for power, makes people do strange things. Makes strange things happen. Kevin Scarpati, he sleeps with the devil every night, attaching himself to the Democratic Party, backing this city council. But again, he's an opportunist. Kevin is nothing but an opportunist who has his eyes set on the bigger picture. Meriden Mayor is not where he wants to be. He wants to be in Hartford. And soon he probably will be. In fact, my prediction still stands. In February, he'll be put up in state when Kathy Abercrombie resigns or retires. So he plays his part. And like I said, everybody has a part. Kevin's is to take the abuse of the public on behalf of the city council. And he does it well. He doesn't mind it. Because he, again, looks at the big picture. And this just proves it. How can you align yourself with such unethical people and then have the nerve to call yourself a friggin' independent or unaffiliated? I don't know how you sleep at night, to be completely honest. This is what they do. This is what we're up against. But in exactly 10 and a half hours, we start changing that. And it happens one vote at a time. It happens one vote at a time. Your vote. Your friend's vote. Your family member's vote. And on and on and on. Have you done what you need to do today? Are you ready to do what needs to be done tomorrow? Because after tomorrow, that's it. Elections have consequences. Are you ready to face the consequences if we fail? It will be a long, long battle. We'll have to see. Make sure you get out there and vote. Make sure you get out there and vote. You know, we drove around on the caravan yesterday, and I kept saying it. Our police department needs your help. And we help our police department by voting Republican, we the people, row B or E. The message is so simple. If you want to bring accountability and transparency back to City Hall, you must vote Republican, we the people, Tuesday, November 2nd. Vote row B or E. Get this information out to everybody you know as quickly as possible. It is time to take out the trash. It is time to stop the corruption. It's time that people understand that this is not how a real city government works. This is what happens when you have unchecked power for so long. When you have unchecked power, corruption, greed has a place to fester. And after so long, the people come numb to it. They become numb to it. And then you get a guy, and amazingly, it only takes one guy usually. At the end of the day, it takes one guy to take it all down. It takes one guy, and that guy was Guy. Guy Scaife is the greatest thing that ever happened to this city. He gave us an opportunity. He gave us an opportunity to fix the wrongs. And even though he is not here anymore, we are. And we can finish what he started. And we finish it by electing Republicans and we the people. November 2nd. Tomorrow. Vote row B or E. If you have not committed to going to Sign Wave and talk to people, we need to talk to these people. As they're walking into the polls, we need to talk to them. We have an opportunity. We need to be out there at the polls, actively supporting candidates that will bring this change. We need to be out there letting them, as they come in, let them know what the hell is going on. The facts and the revelations that have come out over the last couple of days, like I said, are undisputed by anybody. And the more they try to spin it, whether it's the Record Journal trying to spin the piss poor job they're doing, or the city counselors of their doings, we cannot let them prevail. And the only way they prevail is if we don't do our job. They're going to have plenty of people out there that benefit from them being in office. And that's usually your unions, not your city unions. Unions from outside that donated thousands of dollars to the Democratic Party because they don't care about you. It's not your local unions giving money to them. It's state and federal unions giving money to them. People that don't even live here. But they need them to stay in power. Imagine if the city of Meriden, just imagine this, close your eyes for a second. Everyone have them closed? Just picture this. 8:05 tomorrow night. The numbers start coming in. Hanover, Republicans win. Israel Putnam, Republicans win. Barry, Republicans win. B Street, Republicans win. A red wave is coming over the city of Meriden. Just picture that tomorrow night. Just picture that now. And watch that wave just wash all the shit out of the city. And then just keep thinking about what November 3rd will look like. When everybody raises their heads from their pillow, and when these city managers and these department heads realize that Republicans are now in control of this city. Oh, imagine. Oh, imagine how scared they will be. How scared they will be. And honestly, they should be. They should be scared. Because those that are doing their job have nothing to worry about. Those who aren't doing their job better start putting their resumes together. And Mr. City Manager, the council will be coming for you too. Because you have been complicit in all this. You have buried all of this. You have the ability to finish what Guy Scaife started. You have the ability to finish what Guy Scaife started. And you have chosen to do nothing. You have chosen to fall in line with what they wanted you to do. And ladies and gentlemen, elections have consequences. Elections have consequences. Because I'm looking forward when Republicans win. I'm looking forward to the first thing that we hear out of Republican leadership is police department, our great men and women of our Meriden Police Department. You could rest your head nicely on your pillow tonight, as the city council and this government has your back. We respect you and we love you. Rest easy. We will not be this. We will not be part of this 66% no more after tomorrow. We will be in that 6% who are very supportive of the men and women who are out there every night, every day, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year to keep you safe. That's a thankless job in today's age. Tomorrow, there are a lot of consequences to tomorrow. I think we're going to rise above this. I think we are going to sweep this tomorrow. I'm going to be proud to jump on here tomorrow night. And we'll probably jump on probably about 8:30 once the numbers finally come in. And we'll be able to tell you exactly who won. And I'm hoping to be able to sit here tomorrow night and tell you Republicans are now the majority in the city of Meriden. We now have a Republican mayor in Elaine Cariotti. we have a new Republican for the first time in I don't know how long. We have a new Republican city councilor in Area 1, Norberto Gonzalez. I'm going to be proud to say that my good friend, Joe Carabetta III, has come back home where he belongs on the city council as a We the People candidate. I'm hoping to be able to call our good friend Dan Brunet Mr. Majority Leader. Something that he's deserved. I'm hoping to sit here and say I welcome back to the council Councilman Bob Williams. And then I'm hoping to finally say Councilman Dan Zabrowski, welcome to City Council. And of course, everybody's fave, 25-year police officer in the city of Meriden, Ray Orlett. Pack your bags, sir. You're coming across the street. It's time to head to City Council. That's an amazing slate. And we'll be making history, yes, because Elaine Cariotti will be Meriden's first female mayor. So we'll be making a little bit of history tomorrow night also. But again, that's only if we all show up on our A game. If you need something to do tomorrow, come visit me down at headquarters, 847 Hanover Road. Come visit. I'll send you in the right direction. We're all in this together. And the stakes could never be higher. Let's finish strong. Let's save our police department. And let's bring accountability and transparency back to City Hall. I love you. Good night. I pray that you all will do the right thing. And tomorrow, we will hail victory. And we will bring a Republican majority to the city council. Let's go do this. Let's do it tomorrow. I love you, and good night. All right. We're off. Oh.
Emanation and a million faces formed together, made for elevation. I'm a soldier, won't surrender faith. It's like a fire that never burns to embers. The voice of the unheard. Love is the answer.
Gotta speak and believe it, that's how I feel inside.
I can't sit here quiet.
You can take my heart, you can take my breath. When you pry it from my cold dead chest.
This is how we rise up. Heavy as a hurricane, louder than a freight train. This is how we rise up. Heart is beating faster, feels like thunder. Magic static, call me a fanatic. It's our world, they can never have it. This is how we rise up. It's our resistance, you can't resist us. Can you hear me? Are you listening? Sleeping in the shadows, good